Hey, I wanted to make a part two. I wanted to elaborate on some things further, some things that I see coming very soon for humanity. Actually, it's already here. Some problems that we're going to be facing as far as the triunion is concerned, or the spiritual evolution of humanity. Um, so, Earth is a school for souls, okay? And these curriculums last for thousands of years, and we learn different lessons. Started after the fall of Atlantis. That's when the school started over, essentially, and then ancient Egypt. And they retained a lot of the ancient knowledge from before, from the Atlantean times, about life, death, and resurrection, that trinity. And then also reincarnation. A lot of these sacred teachings survived, but had to go underground in the form of mystery schools, because the general public is not intelligent enough to integrate this information. They see it as evil or blasphemous or heretical, and they attack people that teach these truths. So the information has to go underground in the form of mystery schools. So Egypt fell to evil because evil always corrupts every epoch of the cycle. So the priest class, which essentially is the bankers or the evil, took over, and then Egypt started to collapse. The information was salvaged and went underground in the guise of Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria, and then Greece. A lot of the information was retained through the ancient mystery schools, the Hermetical principles. Then Greece began to fall. Here comes Rome. The information essentially was totally underground at this point. Information as far as the Trinity and resurrection, life, death, resurrection, that Trinity, the Ahriman, the Lucifer, the Christ in the middle, that Trinity. So the information had to become underground because Rome started to get corrupted again by this savage priest class of elites, these bloodlines. And so Christianity began to be changed as Rome evolved. It began to become corrupted. They began to become persecuted. So they fled. The Gnostics went underground. They put a lot of their information in the mystery schools, and it became hidden. Okay, the ancient knowledge from Egypt and Greece went into the mystery schools, became underground. Because if you started to talk about these principles of the Trinity and the resurrection and reincarnation, and fucking activating your light body or the rainbow body, then you'd be persecuted. You'd be fucking crucified. You'd be fed to the lions. You'd be burned at the stake. So it had to go underground. This is the problem that we're facing once again. Okay, Rome collapsed. The information went underground. Humans were like, oh, Rome's so decadent. This is what they do every time, especially the religious right brain polarized, or the scientific left brain polarized. They go, look how decadent society and man is. Let's polarize over here this time. So what they did when Rome fell, they were like, that's so debaucherous. It's all about strict, Christianity and dogma. And the Dark Ages began, okay? And the mystery schools had to go underground because they would have been deemed heretical and blasphemous and fucking burnt at the stake for talking about this stuff, okay? Because the evil always corrupts the control structure of whoever's in charge. So the church became evil then, during the medieval times. Then, and during the Renaissance, humans went back to the left brain. They're like, it's all about intellectuality and intelligence and philosophy and the mind and science and astrology, or astronomy, not even astrology. And so then the evil started using that, the Ahrimanic, okay? So the information once again had to go underground. Then people like me, now in modern times, everyone's saying, oh, look at what scientism has done to us. Look at what the lack of faith and religion has done to man. So they're starting to polarize once again back over to the hardcore dogmatic religious. And you see this a lot in the influencers online, especially the masculine revival pages. They're very dogmatic. They're this close to putting fucking Sharia law into effect. And this is what's going to happen because feminism was a false promise for women. Okay, and that illusion got shattered by the transgender movement. So now women are gonna beg to fucking wear the burqa. They're gonna beg for like hardcore masculine oppression, as long as there's structure and order to it. And we need to be careful not to do that again. You can see in the major Christian movements people are like, oh my God, evil's real? So they ran hardcore to dogma and the religious texts that were still corrupted by the evil. Okay, so what we need to do is return to center, to merge the left and the right brain, the spiritual and the scientific, and be balanced, be grounded, and explore consciousness and the other dimensions together and build beautiful technology that's in harmony with fractal nature. We don't need to go back into this hardcore religious dogma. We don't need to go hardcore left brain harmonic science, okay? We need to have a merger. And that's what we need to be careful of. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I think what I'm saying to you now and what others have said over the last several thousand years is going to have to go underground again, because the fanatical always take over. And the religious fanatics will fight these civil wars that are coming, defeat the evil, and then they'll fucking start oppressing people because they're ungrounded, they're imbalanced. They haven't tapped the true Christ or the Trinity, the 0 point neutrality. So I fear that humanity's in danger of becoming dogmatic once again religiously. And so a lot of shit's gonna have to go back in the form of mystery schools and become a cult, unfortunately, unless there's some kind of third party presence that can help us merge the polar aspects of the human being. I don't know if it's going to be extraterrestrial or a return to some light beings help us grow and evolve, or if this is just the way it happens at the end of an earth age where the school curriculum is complete, and then the ones that merge the Trinity will go on somewhere else maybe. And then the other ones that don't will reincarnate into duality in the third dimension again. But I see it happening again with, that everyone's quick to jump and polarized dogmatic right brain religious because they see evil's real. Okay, and you just have to understand that science is real, faith and spirituality is real, metaphysics are real, and we can merge them and we can be in this beautiful harmonic triunion with God. Okay, so unfortunately, I think a lot of it has to do with intelligence, and some people just aren't intelligent enough, or they don't want to spend the energy and effort and discipline it takes to understand occult teachings and merge them with religious teachings and scientific teachings and become holistic, So maybe it's always this way at the end of every school curriculum, earth school curriculum, soul school curriculum, where just a select few remember. But also I wanted to say, people, whenever I bring up Kundalini, people that are uninformed, they visualize the snake, right? And they're like, ew, it's bad, satanic. They connect it to reptilians and the devil and all this shit. All the snake is an animal symbolism for a current of energy, a Birkeland current, like the DNA, a twisting and merging of the electromagnetic forces. Okay, so you also need to not be so dogmatic and scared of things you don't understand. The ancients spoke in symbols and archetypes. Okay, we in modern times speak in analytical fucking intellectual talk. Okay, very scientific and acute. There's a merger of both. We have a left and a right brain. Okay, so the Kundalini is not bad. All it means is activating your light body, your rainbow body, which is who your Christ or Yeshua or your Jesus, what he did and what he taught was light body activation, life, death, resurrection, the Trinity. He brought that knowledge to humanity. He planted that seed of the Trinity for the future time when it will be needed again, so humans have a reference to the Trinity and they don't just merge with Ahriman and AI, or they don't just become totally Luciferic and dogmatic and become hardcore religious. There's a balance in between. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify some stuff. I love you all. Stay up, baby.